Jade, then showed up anyway. This is the story of the absolute worst date I've ever been on. And trust me, the bar is high. Or low, depending on how you look at it. So, I've been talking to this guy. Let's call him Alex. For about 2 weeks. We met on a dating app. Shocker, I know. The conversation was actually great. He was funny, he was smart, he had a good job, and his pictures were cute. We had a lot in common. We both loved hiking, old movies, and trying weird new foods. It felt promising, you know, like maybe, just maybe, this one wouldn't be a complete disaster. We decided to meet up for dinner on a Saturday night. I was genuinely excited. I spent way too long picking out an outfit. Did my hair, my makeup, the whole 9 yards. I even made a reservation at this cool new Italian place downtown that everyone was raving about. I was ready. An hour before our date, my phone buzzes. It's a text from Alex. My heart sinks a little. A text an hour before a date is never, ever good news. I open it, and it says, "Hey, so sorry. Something unexpected came up with a friend. I'm going to have to cancel tonight." Rain check. Ooh, the classic. Last minute. Cancellation. I was so annoyed. All that effort for nothing. I replied with a very polite, but slightly cold, "No worries. Hope everything is okay." Inside, I was already deleting his number and mentally moving on. Another one bites the dust. What a waste of a good outfit. I decided I wasn't going to let it ruin my night. My friend Sarah lived nearby, so I called her up. "Hey, my date just bailed. Want to grab that Italian food with me so my reservation doesn't go to waste?" Sarah, being the amazing friend she is, immediately said yes. She told me she could be there in 20 minutes. Perfect. So, I get to the restaurant, feeling a mix of annoyance at Alex and excitement to hang out with Sarah. I give the host my name for the reservation. As he's leading me to the table, my jaw just drops. There, sitting at a corner table, cozy as can be, is Alex. And he's not alone. He's on a date with another woman. I froze. I literally just stood there in the middle of the restaurant, unable to move. My brain was short-circuiting. The guy who canceled on me because of a friend emergency was right there, on a date with someone else, at the same restaurant. On the same night, the audacity was on a whole other level. The host looked back at me, confused. "Ma'am, your table is this way." I snapped out of it and just followed him. My mind resined. What do? Do I confront him? Do I ignore him? Do I pour a glass of water over his head? The possibilities were endless. My table, by some cruel twist of fate, was directly in his line of sight. He hadn't seen me yet. He was too busy laughing and smiling with his date. He looked so charming, so into her. It was nauseating. I sat down, pulled out my phone, and texted Sarah. "Emergency." Code red. "You are not going to believe this." I quickly explained the situation. Her reply was just a string of shocked emojis, followed by, "I'm 5 minutes away. Do not move." Those 5 minutes felt like an eternity. I tried to hide behind the menu, pretending to be deeply fascinated by the list of pasta dishes, but my eyes kept darting over to his table. It was like a car crash. I couldn't look away. I was analyzing everything. What was she wearing? What were they talking about? Was she prettier than me? It was a spiral of pure insanity. Finally, Sarah burst through the door like a superhero. She spotted me. Then her eyes followed my gaze to Alex's table. Her expression went from confusion to shock to righteous fury in about 3 seconds. She marched over to my table, sat down, and whispered. "Oh no," he did not. We spent the next 10 minutes dissecting the situation in hushed, angry tones. We came up with a plan. We weren't going to cause a huge scene. We were better than that, but we weren't going to let him get away with it either. Our plan was simple, elegant, and petty. We were going to have the best time, right in front of him. So, we ordered a bottle of the most expensive wine on the menu. We ordered appetizers, entrees, desserts. The works, we were loud. We laughed at everything. I made a point of making direct eye contact with Alex. and giving him the sweetest, most knowing smile I could muster. The first time he saw me, his face went completely white. He looked like he'd seen a ghost. He choked on his water. It was glorious. He kept trying to avoid my gaze, but our tables were just too close. He couldn't escape. His date started to notice his weird behavior. She kept looking from him to me, a confused expression on her face. The smooth, charming guy she had been on a date with was now a stuttering, sweating mess. The best part was when our desserts arrived. We had ordered this huge, decadent chocolate lava cake with 2 spoons. As we dug in, I raised my wine glass in his direction, gave him a little cheers, and mouthed the words, "Hope your friend is okay." His jaw hit the floor. His date looked at him, demanding an explanation. We didn't stick around to see the fallout. We paid our bill, and as we walked past his table, I gave his date a sympathetic smile and said, "His friend must have had a really sudden recovery. You have a great night." I walked out of that restaurant feeling like $1,000,000. Sarah and I were laughing so hard we could barely breathe. Shuagat stood up, but I also got a fantastic meal, a hilarious story, and the sweet, sweet satisfaction of poetic justice. And Alex? I got a string of frantic texts from him later that night. I can explain. It's not what it looks like. Please just let me explain. I read them, laughed, and then blocked his number for good. So, what's the lesson here? First, always have a backup plan for a canceled date. Second, the trash will eventually take itself out, sometimes in the most spectacular way possible. And third, if you're going to be a terrible person, maybe don't do it at the most popular new restaurant in town. You never know who you might run into. Thanks for listening to my crazy story. If you've had a dating disaster that can top this, I want to hear all about it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. See you next time.